Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Just the other day I was sent some lovely Glaswegian gin, absolutely love the name, and I'm going to show you how you turn this beautiful fragrant gin into a fabulous gin and tonic cupcake. So let's get started. Any gin and tonic cupcake wouldn't be complete without lemon and lime flavour, so we're going to start with a lemon and gin curd. So I'm just going to pop my water on to boil. And in a bowl that fits nicely inside my saucepan, I'm going to add my sugar, my egg yolks. Full recipe will be down below. Give that a bit of a stir. I'm going to add the juice of 2 lemons. And the most important ingredient, 40 ml of gin. We're going to give that another mix. So I'm going to pop this over the heat now, let it warm up and for the sugar to dissolve. So Glaswegian have actually paired up with me to do a giveaway over on my Instagram channel. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning a freebie, head over there. The link is down below. So I've just got to wash my hands so they're lovely and clean, and I'm just going to check and see if all of the sugar's dissolved. It hasn't yet. So I'm ready to start adding my butter now. So I'm going to add that in slowly on the lowest temperature while it simmers away. Now that's melted, I'm going to add a bit more butter. Keep stirring it. Right, that's pretty much melted now, so I'm going to take it off the heat. You see it's really runny. We're going to let this cool down and then we're going to pop it in the fridge. And then once it cools down, it should be a lovely curd texture. You could also pop this into a sterilised jar and then it will keep in the fridge for about 3 months. So next we're going to be making a gin and tonic simple syrup. I don't normally put simple syrup on my cakes. I don't think it's necessary unless you want to add an extra flavour. And a simple syrup's a really good way of doing that. So I'm going to start with my tonic water, and this is an aromatic fever tree tonic water. And to that I'm going to add my caster sugar. I'm just going to combine those before I put them on the heat. Just add a little bit of our gin flavour. I'm going to add some juniper berries, which I've just crushed in between my fingers. And we're going to put that on to boil. So once it comes to the boil, I want to keep my eyes on it the whole time, and I want a syrup sort of consistency. Yeah, so it's thickened up quite a bit now, as you can see. It's not quite running off quite quickly. So I'm going to take that off the heat. Let it cool down just a little bit. And then when it's cooled down a little bit, I'm going to add just 1 tablespoon of my lovely Glaswegian gin. So by adding it now, you're going to get a real punch of gin. So floral. So that's our gin and tonic syrup made. Just going to leave that to cool off to one side, and then we can get on with the cupcakes. So we're going to move on to making the cupcakes, and as with any of my cake recipes, I always weigh my eggs, and then I weigh my flour, my fat and my sugar to the same quantity. I'm going to start by adding my caster sugar to my bowl, and then I always like to use cooking margarine. I think it gives you a lighter sponge, and we're going to give those a whiz together. And we're looking for that to be nice and fluffy and for the sugar to be fully incorporated into the fat. And to this now, I'm going to be adding my eggs one at a time and giving those a good mix in. What I also like to do is add just a little bit of my pre-weighed up flour, and that will stop your mix from curdling. Nice and fluffy, gives us the lovely fluffy cupcakes. And then to that I'm going to add the rest of my flour with just a pinch of salt. And then I'm going to add 10 juniper berries, which I've ground up in my pestle and mortar. And that's to give us our gin flavour. If I was to put gin straight into the sponge, it could slacken the sponge too much. And also you might lose that flavour as we cook them in the oven. And then because we're doing a lemon lime flavour to go with our gin and tonic, I'm going to add the zest of half a lemon and half a lime. And then we're going to give this a little whiz together very gently. And then when we're just finishing off our sponge, we just want to finish that off by hand. I like to weigh my cupcakes. I think that it's a good way to ensure having an even bake. So I'm just going to pop my whole tray on the weighing scale. We get 2 spoons. And I'm going to start filling my cupcakes at about 45 grams each. And these are proper cupcake cases, not fairy cake cases or muffins, proper cupcake ones. There we are, it's all our cupcake mix gone. We got 12 lovely cupcakes. So I'm going to pop these in the oven at 170 degrees fan for about 15 to 18 minutes. And there's our cupcakes out of the oven, looking lovely. A little bit of a dome, but they will settle a little bit now as they cool. So the last thing that we need to do before we put our cupcakes together is do our buttercream. So I've got my butter here, it's nice and soft at room temperature. And then give this a good whisk until it's nice and light and fluffy. I'm just going to scrape it on the sides. And you can see that's already getting nice and light in colour. There we are. And I've got some sieved icing sugar here. I'm going to add about half in. Oh, poof. And mix it very slowly. That's almost fully combined now, so I'm just going to scrape it down and add the second half of the icing sugar. So that's all nicely combined, and to that now I'm going to add I'm going to add a good glug of gin. And in here I've got lemon and lime juice, which I'm going to add just a little dribble. And we're going to give it another mix on low. So we've got a nice soft buttercream now, and just have to give it a taste. So while my cupcakes are still warm, I'm going to add this lovely simple syrup that we made with the gin and the tonic. Let that seep into the lovely warm cakes. It's actually the next day I'm going to finish off these cupcakes. So I'm going to start by cutting out a small circle with my spoon. Put that to one side. And then I'm just going to fill this with some of my gin and lemon curd, which is nice and set. And I'm going to pop my little lid back on. I'm just going to do that with the rest. So they're all filled now, and now I'm going to add my buttercream to the top. I'm just going to do a nice rose swirl with my buttercream. I'm just going to do the rest. And they're all piped. I'm just going to take my lime now, and I'm going to add a little bit of lime zest to the top of them. Could have used lemon as well, but I think lime's just a bit more of a contrasting colour. And then just to finish them off, I'm going to finish off with a nice half a slice of lime. I'm just going to pop that in. Ooh, pop that in the top. So there's our cupcake all done. I think all it is now is to have a little taste. Really taste that beautiful gin from Glasweed Gin coming through. It goes perfectly with that lovely sweet cupcake and sweet buttercream, and then lots of lemon and lime coming through as well. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.